Today's video is brought to you by idiots. They're everywhere. So in Texas, I'm not sure if this is it probably is not even like really known about it at all in other states, but in Texas, there's a huge debate as to whether or not Texas should secede or not. It's not like a serious debate. It's like one farmer walks up to another and says, "Hey, I think we should secede from the Union again," and the other one is like, "You know, Billy Bob, that's not a bad idea." And then it just kind of became a whole big thing that we talk about at school and why, I'm from Texas, so I personally think that, Texas should secede from the nation because we're awesome. But I also understand that it is an awful, awful idea that would fail the moment that it happened. And this is just reasons why we would fail. Number one, economic stability. We are not in a particularly bad spot right now economically. But we're not in a good spot either. And so if we were to secede, then we would lose all of our federal jobs, which would send unemployment skyrocketing, and we would lose federal funding for schools, which would make taxes also go up a lot. And so whenever unemployment is coupled with high taxes, it's just not good. And we would fail within like 3 weeks, and we would go back begging the U.S. to take us back as a state, but they would say no, because taking us back, they would also gain our economy, and we would have to beg them until they annexed. Number two, job loss. As I mentioned earlier, unemployment would skyrocket because we would lose all of our federal jobs. Federal jobs include jobs provided by the U.S. Postal Service, and I just totally blanked. It would also mean losing jobs provided by NASA and military jobs and all other jobs like that. And so that would make, as I said earlier, unemployment go up. And so then, so that sucks. Issue number three, federal agencies. If we were to secede, we would no longer be covered by all these federal agencies that are with the United States that it covers, or whatever. I totally just messed up that. I don't know. We would no longer have access to an FBI, a CDC, or we would lose NASA. We don't really need NASA though, but it's just nice to have. We would lose our postal service, as I said earlier, and without a postal service, how are you going to write that letter to Becky to tell her how much you just love that top she wore to school today and complain about how you hate your teachers and how they gave you so much homework? You need a postal service. Number four, government. Really? You're talking about a state that elected Rick Perry as its governor. He can't even remember lists of 3. And we want to make him our president. Why would we do that? And then we would also have to fill other government positions, like we would have to fill a vice president spot, a secretary, treasurer, all this other stuff, and it would probably get filled by idiots, like Rick Perry. But hopefully one good thing that could come out of this is if we were to secede, hopefully, I beg and pray that we would be smart enough to get rid of the Electoral College, because that is an awful idea. Period. Notes, looking at my notes, and I didn't mean to go down that far because I need to see this right here because I can't remember anything. Okay. It would start a war, and we already have sucky unemployment. We don't have a military. We don't have anything really at all, and so we would start a war because do you really think the United States is just gonna be like, "Oh, you don't want to be a part of us anymore? Okay, you go off on your own now, okay? Come back anytime." No, they're going to treat us like a 5-year-old in Walmart and say, "Get your butt back here," and if you don't get your butt right back here right now, whenever you get home, we're getting a beating. Probably one of the bigger reasons not to secede is we don't have a reason to secede. We're not like, if you talk to someone who believes that we should secede because blah, 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 most of the time their reasoning as to why Texas should secede is because Texas is awesome, man. Why wouldn't we secede? Because we're just the best state ever. But yeah, that's pretty much the best reason anyone can come up with. There is no reason to secede. We're not, like, denied rights or anything because we're Southern. We're not mistreated or anything, and we're fine. If the best reason a country has for seceding for declaring independence from another country is because it's awesome, it should evaluate its life goals. And last, but not least, certainly not least, no matter how much someone tells you that we have the right to secede, we do not, I repeat, do not have the right to secede from the Union. Yes, it was originally a part of our thing as becoming a state. It was like, if you become a state, you have the right to leave at any time because we understand if you just don't like it and you just want to go back to being a state. But you realize you also used to be able to kill your next door neighbor for taking your cattle, right? Do we do that anymore? No. And you want to know why we don't do this anymore? Because, I'm not sure if you remember this, but in 1861, or possibly a little before that, we decided, hey, North Carolina's doing it, and all them other states are doing it. Why don't we do it too? And we just secede from the nation. We got the right to, and we don't like this Abraham Lincoln guy. And so, I'm not sure if you remember what happened after that, but we lost. And with it, we lost our right to secede from the Union ever again. So, sorry, you're wrong. And if you ever are talking to someone and they say that we have the right, just look at them straight in the eye and say this: you are an idiot, okay? We do not have the right to secede, and you need to shut up. And then just walk away. Because any conversation you have with this person after that point is going to make you that much dumber. So yeah, that's pretty much my rant about idiots from Texas who think we should not be a part of the nation. I don't like stupid people. At all.